britbrit here. Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. So today's video is all about how to make neons faster. The first tip is to set up a grinding house. Your grinding house does not need to be anything fancy. As you can see in the video, I just set mine all up in one room. I think it's a basic house. And I just bought a bunch of cribs, a bunch of bathtubs, and then food and drink bowls. I have 2 food and then 2 drink bowls. I like to have extra cribs and extra bathtubs, so when my friends are playing, they can come grind at my house too. I just bought the cheapest stuff that I could find just to save money, but of course you can make yours fancier if you want to. Tip number 2 is to play with an alt or more than one alt. Obviously, if you're playing with an alt or more than one alt, you're going to be able to make your neons faster. In order to play with an alt, you're going to need another device to play on. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to log in on your alt account and your main account. And on your main account, you're going to be a parent, and on your alt account, you're going to be a baby. You're going to have your main account create a family and then invite your alt to the family. So if you add an alt account, you're actually aging up the neons twice as fast. If you were playing with 2 alts, so you had 3 accounts going, you could age up your animals 3 times as fast. Once you have your family set up, you're going to collect food for your main and for your alt. And your main needs food to feed your pet when you're not in the house, and then the same thing for the alt. The alt needs food and drink to feed itself, and then also to feed a pet. So that's something interesting when you're playing with an alt. Your alt as a baby you can't actually feed your alt or give your alt like water to drink, and so your alt actually has to be the one to feed itself or to give itself water. So you're going to want to collect food. So I have like a water cooler in my house, and then I also have the donuts, and I can collect those. And those are great to feed your pet and just to have on hand. And if you don't have them on hand, like you don't have them in your house, then pretty much most of the places that you go, you can collect the free food. The best place to go is the pizza parlor, because back in the back room of the pizza parlor, there's a bunch of food like cheese and mushrooms and whatever. It's like the toppings for the pizza. If you watch on the video, I'm getting ready to go there now. If you go back there, all of those foods that are to your right there that you can see on the screen, all of those only take your baby 1 bite to eat. So they're super awesome to have in your bag. But of course they go away when you log out. So it's also nice to have other food just in your bag that stays in your bag for when you log in and log out again. Also, the fastest drink that I found is the water that you can collect at the pizza parlor. It only takes 4 drinks. And anyways, all of that just cuts down on the amount of time that you're spending grinding. And I just feel like it helps you not get so bored as quickly. If you leave your alt, like say you walk away from the computer and your alt account's on there, after 20 minutes, Adopt Me actually logs you out. So you're going to want to be nearby that device so that you can constantly play. And like I said before, your alt has to feed and give itself drink too. So, okay, so the pet of the alt, when you're playing, you don't see the task unless, like the alt sees the task on that device that it's playing on, but you don't actually see it on your screen. But if you pick up the alt or you pick up the pet of the alt, then you can see what task it needs so that you can finish their task for them. You can see on the screen that I'm setting up like a food stand, and I also have a food stand for my alt. I like to set up both food stands. Neither one of those helps you make neons faster, but it does help you collect money so you can buy eggs to make neons. Another food that only takes 1 bite to eat is the marshmallows, but you can only collect so many of those. Like, I mean, if you grind all day, they're not going to let you get any more marshmallows, but that's another like great thing to have in your bag. Okay, so we're getting ready to do the camping task with my alt, and if you take your alt and their baby and you don't put them in a bed like right next to each other, the pet of your alt will actually jump up and come over to your alt, and the same thing with your pet that you have attached. So just make sure that you do that, that you put them nearby each other. When you're playing with an alt, also it's great. It's like super awesome to have the magic house door. I always like wondered, why do people get the magic house door when you can just reset and go to your home? But the problem is that if you play with an alt, you can't actually reset and go to your home. I mean, you can, but your alt and their pet won't follow you. And so that's why people use the magic house door. And it's only 150 robux, so it's not that much to buy. And it just makes grinding with an alt so much easier. Another thing that I found out is when I am grinding so much, it actually was worth it for me to buy the premium plot in town. And I really like the premium plot that's between the pool party and playground, because then I can just walk out my door to go to either one of those tasks. And it's also just as quick to go there as it is to teleport to like a vehicle if you're going to the pizza parlor or the salon. So I don't know. I love having the premium plots. You absolutely don't need the premium plots. If you see on your screen, you can see where to teleport to. So if you're going to camping, you can teleport to the supermarket and be super close. If you're going to the hospital or the school, you can either teleport to the nursery or gifts. And if you're going to pizza parlor or salon, the car dealership gets you the closest to teleport to, or the toy shop. And then if you're going to the pool party or the playground, the baby shop actually gets you the closest. You can teleport with an alt. So unlike going to your home and resetting where your alt doesn't follow you, if you teleport and you're holding your alt, then your alt and your alt's pet will also follow you. Okay, I just have a couple more things to add when you're grinding or when you're grinding with an alt. The first one is, I forgot to say earlier, you want to collect the healing apples from the hospital, because it actually cuts down on your time, because you don't have to go to the hospital every single time you have the sick task. So you want to collect some healing apples on your main account, but also on your alt accounts, so they have those in their bag. Number 2, you can put a piano also in your house, or more than one piano is better, so that you can do the playground task or the board task from your home. Another thing I like to do is I like to have a fly pet out if at all possible, because flying around actually just gets you around quicker, right? If you don't have a fly pet, I would suggest a ride pet, or I don't know. I don't really suggest a vehicle, because I don't know about you, but I can't drive mine around very good. I really like the roller skates though, and you can buy the roller skates at toy shop, so you don't actually have to be rich to get those. All of those will just get you around town a little bit quicker. And then the last thing for grinding or grinding with an alt is you don't want to have the same pets on all your accounts. So you don't want everybody to have an ant out. And the reason is because when you're trying to do the task and figure out which ant is hungry or which ant is thirsty, it's really difficult. So even if you name your pets, or like even if you name your ants like different names, it won't pop up with the task. It'll just say ant is hungry, and then you don't know which ant you're talking about. The only way I figured out how to figure it out is if you pick one of them up, you should be able to see like if it's hungry or if it's thirsty, or if that's the one you know is hungry and you're holding it, the first ant name or the first name that pops up for that pet is actually the one that's closest to you. I hope that makes sense. So if you're trying to make a neon ant, for instance, I like to have the ant out on one of my accounts, and then what I like to do with my main or with any other alt accounts is I like to have a pet that's already fully aged up. So all I'm doing is collecting age up potions, and then I can use those age up potions to age up any pet that I want to, so any neons that I'm working on. Wow, so that was a lot of information about tip number 2, and I'm sorry that it took so long, but I really hope that you guys found that helpful. And even if you're not grinding with an alt and you're just grinding to get your neons made, you should definitely grind as a baby, just so you are making the extra money for all that work. So tip number 3 is to set goals. So I like to set like daily goals. So every single day, my goal is to at least get 1 age-up potion. So that's my only goal. And then everything I do after that is just a bonus. Your goal could be to get 1 age-up potion every day like mine, and then you would have 7 age-up potions over 1 week. Or you could set a goal of like grinding for at least 30 minutes every day, or grinding for at least 1 hour every day, and that will really help you get closer to making your neons. Tip number 4 is to focus on one pet at a time, or the neons that you're working on at that one time. So don't try to flip back and forth like, I want to work on these ants and I also want to work on these vampire dragons. Just pick one to work on, and that will really help you get it done faster. Tip number 5 is to grind during 2 times weekend. I hear this one a lot, but I don't just mean work on it a little bit during 2 times weekend. I mean set aside the time, don't let the weekend pass you by, and just focus on grinding for the 2 times weekend. You will be so much happier with yourself. Only grind, don't trade, maybe turn off your trades or your party invites or whatever it is that's getting in your way of getting grinding done during the 2 times weekend. Just don't waste it. Tip number 6 is to find a pet raiser. So this one's a little bit more difficult to do because you can't really trust everybody. So if you have a friend that loves to grind, because there's so many out there and all they really like to do is grind when they play Adopt Me, then they would be perfect to ask to be your pet raiser. But it kind of needs to be somebody that you know in real life and that you can definitely trust. I've actually been a pet raiser in the past, and it was super awesome because I like to grind, but also because I could make pets as payment for grinding. So I got all the money, and I also got pets to do it. Tip number 7 is trade for higher aged up pets. So you might take, like, say for instance, like a starfish, which is ultra rare, and let's say you're making a neon bat, and you find someone that will trade you a starfish, like a newborn starfish, for a fully aged up bat. Then there you go. You already have one of your full aged pets for your neons to make. With this one, it just really doesn't hurt to ask. So you can always go to chat and you can always say, looking for fully aged up bat, or looking for a preteen bat or higher, or whatever it is that you're wanting to make neon. And you can move different servers if there's not that many people on there. And while you're working on some of the pets or some of the bats or whatever, and you're trying to make them fully aged up, while you're doing that, you can always ask in chat so you can see if you can find some already fully aged up. Tip number 8 is bare minimum grinding. So for instance, if I'm cleaning my room, then I'm going to turn on my phone and pull up Roblox, and I'm just going to do the bare minimum grinding. So I'm only going to do tasks that can be completed in my home. So I'll only sleep and shower and feed my pet, and then if I have a piano, then I'll do the playground task. But that's pretty much it. That way I don't have to keep looking at my phone too often. I just am doing the bare minimum. And that bare minimum is just a little extra more to get me closer to having my neon finished. I've never actually heard anyone else talk about bare minimum grinding, so you heard it first here. You have to remember with bare minimum grinding though that Roblox is going to log you out if you aren't active after 20 minutes. So you're going to need to do a task like at least every 20 minutes, or click on your screen or something like that. And sometimes even when I'm doing bare minimum grinding, I will play as a parent just because I just don't want to have all the extra stuff, and really all I'm working on is trying to age up my pet. Tip number 9 is grind during events. This is probably my second favorite behind 2 times weekend, because 2 times weekend you can get just so much extra money, and you can age up your pets so much faster. But next to that, I love grinding during events. So like the summer event or the Christmas event is getting ready to come up. And so during the Christmas event, I am grinding. And so I'm collecting like the gingerbread men or whatever, but I'm also doing all the tasks for my pet and me as a baby, and then or if I'm playing with an alt. So you will find me during events grinding. I love to collect as many things as we're collecting, like the gingerbread men or the candies for the Halloween event or the beach balls for the summer event or whatever it is. I'm grinding those because I want to get as many pets or as much pet wear, like everything that I can get. I want to get the most of. And then I'll also be grinding usually with an alt, but sometimes as my main as a baby. The reason it's so awesome to grind during events is because you don't get as bored, because you are going from all your tasks to the games that they're having. And so you really just do not have time to get bored. Like it's just go. And that's what I love the most about it. All right, and tip number 10 is just do a little bit more. So what this means is when I'm playing and I'm getting ready to get off, I just do a couple more tasks. So say 3 more tasks. I'm just going to do 3 more tasks. And if I do 3 more tasks every day, then by the end of the week, I've done 21 more tasks. And by the end of the month, I've done at least 84 more tasks. So just do a little bit more. So with this a little bit more, I like to end my day or I like to end my time with the day after camping, because I like to go camping, which also has the sleep task. So that's like an extra task. And then always the day after camping is when you get sick and you have to go to the hospital. So that's like an extra bonus task too. So I just always end when I'm playing on the day after camping after I finish those tasks. Wow, so I know that was a lot of information, so thank you for being patient. I hope you guys learned something. My next video is going to be tips for not getting bored while grinding. So like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you won't miss a thing. Bye guys, until next time.